NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, sheesh. It's been a while since I've been here. A long while. Glad you guys are jumping in with me, joining me. It's not going to be a super long show, but, you know, my man Tony should be jumping in shortly. You know what I mean? I see Ron from Still Knicks fans in the building. If you're free, you want to jump in, feel free. You know, and really, I'm just trying to kick off my version of the Knicks offseason, ladies and gentlemen, as we start to break down and take a look at some of the most important issues facing the Knicks during this offseason. You know I've been away for a while, and you know, the Knicks lost to the Indiana Pacers and all of that. I'm proud of the basketball team. And maybe this is a little bit late to say, but I was proud of this basketball team. With everything that they went through, to make it there, although they could have and should have been up 3-0 and probably won the series and all of that good stuff, it happened the way that it happened. Nothing can change that. And now it's time to look forward and take a look at, you know, what the Knicks need to do over the offseason. Before we get into that, though, I see Dwayne Dennis say what happened. You know, Dwayne, if you're talking about, you know, my little hiatus, bottom line is I just needed a little bit of a break. I had a rough 8 to 9 months, you know. A lot of things went down over the last 8 to 9 months. So, you know, I just needed, you know, finally I reached a point where I had a little bit of time where I could take a break. I needed to take a break. You know, I do want to give a shout out to Steph and Tony, Ron, Eru. You know, a lot of people out there that, Wizzy. A lot of people out there that were, you know, really showed support, stepped up when I couldn't do certain things, and helped me out. You know what I mean? So, you know, I needed a break. You know, just, you know, life things finally calmed down, and I was able to take a moment and breathe. So I did that. But now we're back in the building. It's time to, you know, it's time to roll into the Knicks offseason, ladies and gentlemen. You know, there's a lot of things that need to be done and that will get done for the New York Knicks this offseason. You know, I mean, I still believe that the Knicks are going to put a full court press on for Donovan Mitchell. Nothing's going to change my mind about that. I believe that's going to happen. I believe that's probably on the forefront of the Knicks' mind. If it's not Donovan Mitchell, then somebody else that comes along. The Knicks are set up to do it, though, with Donovan Mitchell. Contracts and all of that stuff is set up. I'm going to do a show about that and break it down. But everything is set up for the Knicks to really make a run towards Donovan Mitchell. So I do think that's going to happen. Whether or not it really happens is another thing, but I think the Knicks are going to really make a full court press to try to get Donovan Mitchell. You know, will we hear about it? Who knows? Will it happen? Who knows? But I think they're going to make that full court press with the Cleveland Cavaliers to try to add him to the backcourt with Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Donovan Mitchell. I think the Knicks front office will believe that's a championship level team, along with OG Anunoby and you know, the rest of the roster. So I think that's going to be one of the most important things the Knicks look at during this offseason and trying to get that done. I think they're going to try to get it done during the draft. That means this month, June. That's what I believe. I think they're going to try to get something like that during this draft because the Knicks have 2 draft picks. Realistically speaking, are they going to use them? No. They're not using those draft picks. If they can't trade them, they'll kick it on down the line, I think. Or maybe they use one of them, right? Get a late round draft pick. The Knicks have been good at, they've been able to capitalize on late round draft picks. Guys like Deuce McBride got him in the second round. Emmanuel Quickly, who they traded along with RJ for OG Anunoby, right? The Knicks have had luck, or I don't want to say luck. They've done well drafting late in the first round or the second round. And if you look at the Knicks roster, you look at the guys who really got it done for the Knicks this year. They weren't top 3 picks, top 5 picks, top 10 picks, right? So even through free agency, the Knicks added guys that were not these top level picks. So the Knicks, when we talk about the draft, have done well with their own draft picks and getting late round picks, and then drafting players who were late round picks. I mean, signing players who were late round picks, or trading for players who were late round picks. So, we'll do an entire show based on the draft and what I think the Knicks might do and what you think the Knicks might do. But there's some important issues pressing for the Knicks, right? Probably first and foremost is OG Anunoby. Will the Knicks re-sign OG Anunoby? There's numbers out there of what, supposedly OG is looking for, how much he's worth. There's speculation, from fans mostly that, the Knicks don't even need OG Anunoby, that he's not worth the money, that he's injury prone. But I got to believe OG Anunoby is got to be, the one of the biggest things the Knicks are doing this offseason. I think they're going to re-sign OG. You don't trade a number 3 draft pick and Emmanuel Quickly, a guy who was a 6th man of the year candidate, for OG without knowing that you're going to be able to re-sign him. Right? So there's no way in my mind the Knicks do not re-sign OG Anunoby. No way. It would be crazy. It would look crazy on the organization if they did not sign OG. And when you look at how well the Knicks played, right after the signing, the trade for OG, and he was out there with Brunson and Randall and everybody else. In January, when they made that crazy run, there was smacking teams all over the place. They looked like a championship level squad. I mean, that is what the front office has got to be looking at and saying, we re-sign this guy, we add him to Brunson and Randall, and if we can bring in another piece, we're there. Right? So the Knicks have got to re-sign OG Anunoby. And that's going to be the first, I'm not going to say that's going to be the first thing to happen during the offseason, because we have the draft. And the Knicks, as I spoke about earlier, will probably look to make some kind of move with those draft picks. Either trading them along with more draft picks for a Donovan Mitchell type guy. Obviously players would be involved in all of that, or kicking them down the road for later on. Right? Kicking them down the road for later on. Kevin said, we're not drafting. We don't have the draft. We're not drafting anyone. Well, when I say we have the draft, Kevin, I don't mean that the Knicks are drafting anyone. But as far as a potential big move, I believe a big move could happen at the draft. Because the Knicks have 2 draft picks, they could make a move at the draft. Because 2 of the draft picks, they have 2 draft picks this year. One coming from the Dallas Mavericks and obviously their own. And then they have draft picks in, other years that they can use. So I can't see that the Knicks they're not going to use those draft picks on young players. The Knicks are in win now mode. Bottom line, there's no question in my mind about it. They're in win now mode. They want to win. They don't believe, Tom Thibodeau doesn't believe you're going to win with, rookies. I don't think Leon Rose believes you're going to win with rookies. So I agree with you, Kevin. They're not going to use those draft picks. They're either going to kick them down the road or they're going to sign another player. Or I'm sorry, they're going to trade for another player. That's the reason why I said we have the draft before we get to free agency, because I believe the Knicks could do something during the draft. You know what I mean? Got my guy Tony Crow in the building. Tony, what's good with you, brother? How you feeling? It's been
What's good, son?
I'm good. I'm feeling good,
Can
man.
you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, good.
Sounds good.
Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black as
Yeah.
time. Unfortunately, the computer, I just realized it went down, so I'm on the phone, but happy to be back, man. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? We had to take care of some stuff, you know?
Yes, sir.
We had to take care of some stuff. So we're talking about, really just, kind of brainstorming, some of the most important things the Knicks got to do during the offseason, what you think they might do. Then, subsequent shows after this will break down some of these ideas that we take from this show here. The biggest thing for me, well, there's two big things. I don't know which one is the biggest. One, you got to sign OG Anunoby, re-sign OG Anunoby, in my opinion, because you traded away RJ, you traded away Emmanuel quickly. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that you do not re-sign OG Anunoby. That's got to be top of their list. You got to re-sign the OG Anunoby. And with the way that the Knicks looked, right after the trade, you know what I mean? They looked like championship contending team. It would make no sense to not re-sign OG Anunoby. That would obviously be, frowned upon by fans, I think, by most fans. You know what I mean? But your thoughts, go ahead.
Yeah, that would be a horrible look. I guess my question, because I don't think it's even a possibility, just knowing the track record of the Knicks, knowing how they've been able to secure deals with guys they brought in or just free agents in general. So I don't really think it's a possibility. But my question to you would be, all the hoopla or all the talks about, us potentially losing him, not signing him, has that come from anybody credible in you know what I mean, or even in the Knicks side of the beat writers, or has that come from like the general media? Because again, I'm under the impression, I thought I wouldn't be surprised still. I know it's not a popular opinion, but him opting in and signing the extension like Hart did. A lot of people didn't think Hart would do that. The fact that he's CAA now with Leon's son, what I mean. All these things I think have to play a part in something being known or spoke about or discussed previously.
Right, and I mean that's I still just believe that just what you said. You know what I'm saying? There's no way in my mind that Leon Rose would trade RJ and Emmanuel quickly for OG Anunoby and Precious without knowing that OG was going to return. And all the talk about, I'm going to, OG saying he's going to, see what other options are out there and all of that. To me, you have to say that, right?
We already been tampered before.
We had a discussion. You have to say that. You have to say, I'm going to consider other teams, or else you'll be looked at for tampering, right? You'll be looked at for. I think we had a discussion in our group chat or whatever. You'll be looked at for. All right, well, they made a deal beforehand. You know what I'm saying? So they already knew what was going down when the trade happened. And blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So he has to say that. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he has to say that. I fully believe that he's going to re-sign with the Knicks. And the Knicks are going to make sure that he's a New York Knick next season. That's what I believe. You know what I mean? So I don't see him going any place else besides being in New York. Let me get you a phone call real quick and we come back to it. Caller, you're live. Name and where you're from, please.
Yeah, it's good, bro. It's JJ from Brooklyn.
JJ.
How's everything, man?
I'm good. Hold on for 1 second, Jay. Hold on for 1 second, JJ. I'm not sure everybody is fully hearing you. Go ahead, say something.
Yeah.
Say something.
You can hear me?
Okay,
Hello?
You're good. Go ahead.
All right, cool. What's good, Tony? How's everything with you, man? What's good, fellas?
Doing good, man. Busy times.
That's what's up. Word, yeah. Feel you, man. Feel you. Yeah, so real quick, man, this off season, I gotta say, I'm like torn. One half of me is like, this team, I kind of feel like they deserve one more shot at set if we run it back, because I think this is, and I think we could be a contender even as is.
Okay.
And another side is like, you still got Brunson, who's severely underpaid. It's kind of like, do you want to strike now before you have to pay Brunson and Randall probably double their contracts almost? So I'm just torn. Like, where are you guys leaning towards, if you had to say?
I mean,
make a big move, stand pat.
well,
What do you guys?
Well, see, my thing is making a big move to me doesn't involve OG, Brunson, or Julius Randle, right? So if you're making a big move, and this is the reason why I keep saying and talking about Donovan Mitchell, because the Knicks have players that can match his current money, and they have draft picks that they can throw at Cleveland to try to entice Cleveland. All Donovan Mitchell has to do is tell Cleveland he's not going to resign next year, that he's going to opt out and he's going to go someplace else, right? Because he has an opt-out clause at the end of next season, just like Randall, just like Brunson. All he has to do is say, I'm going to opt out.
Right.
And I'm going to and I'm not resigning. What do you think is going to happen? Cleveland's going to trade him. Do they trade him over the summer? Who knows? But they but the Knicks have 2 draft picks. They have other draft picks they can use. They have the money that can match it. Right? They can make it work that way.
Could you make it work without Randall, though? Like
yes,
you said,
you can.
Don't you think Randall would have to be in there?
No, you can make it work without Randall. I mean, you have Bogdanovich's contract is guaranteed for next year already, right? When they traded for Bogdanovich, that $20 million came guaranteed. So you got Bogdanovich's contract that you can use, which would be an expiring contract next year that Cleveland can decide to do whatever they want with. You can use a Mitchell Robinson. Now would you have to trade a, Josh Hart or DiVincenzo? I don't know, but you have contracts that you can make it work. Because Donovan Mitchell was only like $35 million this year, or going in the next season or something like that.
Oh wow, really?
Right.
So I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So you don't have to.
Right, then that definitely makes it. Yeah. Right. Then I agree with you.
Yeah. So it's not like you're doing. You got to match $40 million or $50 million.
I was thinking
you
like 45 or something. Yeah.
No.
So you're right. Yeah. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So they have the contracts. Donovan Mitchell next season makes $35.4 million. That's what he makes next season.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So you have the contracts that you can match the money. Now, can you make sure that Cleveland is getting back enough assets if Donovan Mitchell, if it goes down that way? You dig? Go ahead, Tony.
Right.
I was just gonna say Bogey and Mitch is enough right there.
Contract wise.
You know what I mean? So if the draft capital is enough to entice them, it definitely can be done. If they don't want, a Mitchell Robinson, or if they want Mitch and they don't want Bogey, that's when it gets a little bit stickier.
Right.
But those two guys right there do match up. And, I don't even like to say it, I like Mitch, but it is what it is. Just, it does match perfectly.
Yeah, it matches. You know what I'm saying? So you have a possibility right there if you can make the other pieces work for Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So that Cleveland likes what they're getting back in return.
So you guys are in favor of that, huh? Getting Mitchell, right?
I am. I'm in favor of it. The reason why I'm in favor of it is because I seen what the Knicks could do when they had Dante DiVincenzo there, right? And I look at Dante DiVincenzo and I look at Donovan Mitchell, same size guards. Donovan Mitchell is obviously a more dynamic scorer. And if you can keep Dante DiVincenzo, now you got Dante DiVincenzo who's coming off the bench with Josh Hart.
And the bench is upgraded too, so you're upgrading 2 spots.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'd be in favor of it. You know what I mean? There's some other moves that I'd be in favor of too, but that's one of them I'd definitely be in favor of. And because things match up so perfectly, contract-wise, money-wise, I don't see how the Knicks do not say, we're going to make a push.
And he wants to be here, So you
Exactly.
don't got to worry about that.
Exactly.
You know how bad he wants to be a Knick. So,
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
yeah. So again, I just feel like this all season, like I'm gonna be satisfied either way. Like if we run it back, I'm cool. And then if we, make a blockbuster move, I'm not gonna be upset if we get a star or Donovan Mitchell or, obviously I'm not gonna be upset. But I just think we're in good shape, man. Like I think we're a contender right now, whether we make a big move or not. And yeah, I think one thing real quick, like, if other teams do things, maybe that would make me feel like, all right, let's do something. Like, we know Philly's going to make a big move on the wing to help Maxey and Embiid. That's a given. If Miami lands a point guard, which they need, they'll be better. So,
Right.
I think that plays into it a little bit. Not saying you have to make like a panic move, like, oh my God, Philly just got, DeRozan or Paul George or Butler. Some of the names you're hearing with Philly. I still think you still, do what you think is best for you, But yeah, I think we're in good hands regardless, Pretty excited for the draft. I'm sure you guys will have a bunch of draft shows coming up soon, right?
Yeah, well, definitely.
So,
I mean, listen, I don't think the Knicks are going to draft any players,
true.
but
Yeah, right.
we'll have some
Right.
draft stuff going on, but I don't think the Knicks are going to
Cool.
be drafting players. That's just my opinion. If they
Yeah.
do, it'd be
Yeah, I
second
agree.
round or something like that, or maybe you see the Knicks pick up an undrafted player,
Right.
But I don't see any significant, that they're drafting anybody significant. I don't see that,
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. You guys take it easy, man.
Hey,
Take care.
Yeah, no
Appreciate
doubt.
it, man.
Appreciate it, JJ. Peace.
No doubt, man. Peace.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Familiar voices, man. Feels good.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's go back to OG though. Right. OG's that's got to be the most important piece. OG Anunoby, right? Again, I fully expect him to be a New York Knicks next season. I'm
Let me
sure.
ask you this. Personally, do you care what the money is?
Do I care? I mean,
Like if it is, you know what I mean? Like, because I think that's the only not. I don't really care. I say it is what it is. I do feel like they both have negotiating power. You know what I mean? As far as not just the injuries this year, but just throughout his career as being one talking point. And then obviously he could speak to the record and the impact when he's on the floor and what that is. But the reason I ask is like, do you even play around with it? You know what I mean? Do you even try to negotiate with those talking points? Or do you just, ask what it is and go for it?
That's a tough one. That's a good one. I don't know. I mean, I think they're gonna have some discussions though. You know what I'm saying? And it might not all revolve around, well, you were injured, you got an injury, got this kind of track record, that kind of track record. I think it's gonna revolve more around, if you take this much less, it gives us room to be able to do this and do that. Like you heard, I think.
For me, that's one of the main reasons why I feel like the opt-in and extension is the fairest route, because you give them the wiggle room right now, you know what I mean, to save some dollars, and then now you could go ahead and offer him that full max extension.
Let me get to a caller real quick. Caller, you're live. Name me where you're from, please.
Ron from Pittsburgh.
What's going on, Ron? How you feeling?
Hey, good. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. Glad you
Oh,
called in.
Tony, how are you?
I'm glad to be back, brother.
Tony? Yeah, I was just saying hello to Tony.
Yeah. He said he's glad to be back. I don't know if you heard him.
No, I didn't. Interesting conversation, Sam. I don't know if there's any easy answers. The second time I've called you. One thing I'm sure of and I see this on a lot of blog sites. And again, it's casual fan stuff, wishful thinking type thing. They are not, under any circumstances, going to trade Julius Randle. And trade Julius Randle. What people have to realize is there's always two sides to every coin. And like you just said a little while ago, it's not so much what can we, get for Spider. It's, what does Cleveland think is going to be fair value? Nobody is going to trade for Julius Randle unless they have seen him healthy and in-game action. Now, it could be the preseason games. It could be whatever. It could be a trade that could happen right at the beginning of the year. But right now, if I'm a general manager on any team, I'm not taking on Julius Randle until I actually see him play.
Right.
We don't know if this is the same Randle. We don't know if this is a Randle that might continue to have shoulder issues, a guy that might end up not being able to play tough inside or on the boards. He might be reduced to a three-point shooter, or he might be reduced to a certain number of minutes, which, at least from a minute perspective, would make him almost a backup. And I wouldn't even care about that. That would be fine with me. I'd pay him to come off the bench if that's what it came to, based on his injury history. Mitch is a little bit more tradable. But again, there's going to be those same concerns concerning his leg. But I could see somebody taking a chance on Mitch. I can't see anybody taking a chance on Julius. So if you're talking about a trade with Cleveland and you're throwing in a couple of guys, one guy who just had 2 surgeries, right? Bogey, on his wrist and his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And another guy who has serious injury issues. Then for Cleveland to get anything back for Donovan Mitchell, if there's nothing really at 24 or 25 even for the Knicks, we're talking about first-round picks well into the future if we're going to go for a superstar.
Right. I mean, you're definitely talking about a lot of first-round picks, which the Knicks have. They have first-round picks, and they'd still be able to preserve some first-round picks, I believe. I think you're talking about first-round picks. I don't think, even if Julius Randle, I think Julius Randle is going to come back healthy. He suffered a shoulder injury. From what he says, you know what I mean? He's, things are feeling good. It's getting stronger, since he had the surgery, so on. I don't think the Knicks would even consider trading Randle in the Donovan Mitchell trade. You know what I mean? Because, you could see in the playoffs, the Knicks needed that inside presence, right? The Knicks needed what Randle brought to the table. So I don't think that's even on the table, trading Julius Randle. I think it's all about filling, adding that star without moving Brunson or Randle. So I don't think the Knicks are looking to do that unless it's like a Giannis or something like that. Then of course that changes everything. So it's going to be guys like Bogey and Mitchell Robinson that get moved, and then a bunch of draft picks thrown that team's way, Cleveland's way, or however whichever team it's going to be a bunch of draft picks. Now, when you talk about Bogey, what Bogey brings is not just that the team is going to look to say, oh yeah, he could be a player. That's not going to be the main thing. The main thing is if you're trading Donovan Mitchell, say for example, and now you don't have to pay him $35.4 million, but you're bringing back contracts. Bogey's contract is going to be a $20 million expiring contract, right? So they start to get out of Donovan Mitchell's contract. Because if they don't trade Donovan Mitchell, they got to re-sign him, you know what I mean, which is going to, obviously eat up money on their books, but you do that for Donovan Mitchell. But if you have to trade him, then you probably want to free up that cash. $20 million they'd be able to free up. And then if they can find a way to get more expiring contracts from the Knicks, maybe they can free up a good portion of that $35 million so that they have that money available to bring in another player or, bring in another star player or sign another star player when that time comes or whatever it is. So that's where I think Bogey's value really is in those trade scenarios, is that he's going to be an expiring contract next season.
And even if it doesn't,
well, in the
help.
case of their draft picks, I agree with you. I think looking at this class, there are guys that could go after. I'm not sure if they can make a rotation if they want them to be an all-round player. I think that there are guys that could fill roles. That Ryan Dunn kid out of Virginia, strictly as a defensive specialist, if they're willing to do that in games. Certainly a backup point guard to Brunson, not the scorer that Brunson is, but a true point guard. Maybe like that Tyler Kolek guy or kid from Pittsburgh. But outside of that, if they move those 2 picks, 24 and 25, say to next year, do you think that would be equal to a one and a couple of ones in next year's draft? And how would that work?
I mean, if they kick those picks down the road,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. Will it be equal to it? I'm not sure. I think if they kick them down, well, I guess kicking it to next year's draft is something that they could or would possibly do. I think they're gonna try to make a big move first, and then if they can't, probably try to kick him down the road. Maybe I think if they draft a guy, maybe they use one of those picks. They have 2 picks this year. They have Dallas's pick and their own pick. They might even try to trade it down, like they've done before, to try to accumulate as many assets as possible. You know what I mean? So, I think any draft pick that they do get this year is going to be very late first round, second round. That's what I think. And then they might try to kick them down the road. But I think the first thing they're going to do is try to move them in a trade. That's what I think.
Is there anybody you have in mind outside of Donovan Mitchell?
I mean, I would love like Devin Booker. I wouldn't mind Mikal Bridges. Those are some guys that I wouldn't mind being with the Knicks. I mean, Mikal
if they're
Bridges.
lucky enough to get them.
Yeah, Tony says it often. Mikal Bridges fits, the Knicks' MO perfectly. Defense, shoot the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like Villanova guy. You know what I mean? Like he fits. He fits really well.
Could they conceivably go for an outstanding defensive rookie that is lacking on the offensive side, or do they have to be a well-rounded player to the point of having to go to Westchester for at least a year before they can make a serious push for a rotation spot?
I think anyone that they get is probably going to spend some time in Westchester. Yep.
Right.
Yep. It's going to be guys like that they bring in during the draft. And there may be guys that's undrafted, you know what I mean, that they get. But, yeah, I think they'll be in Westchester for a little while, just like Deuce was.
Well, real quickly, the one thing with Ihart and Anunoby, when is the soonest that they could sign those guys?
I think right after. I'm not sure when the soonest is. I don't know. They may be able to offer an extension right after the finals or something. I have to look. I'm not exactly sure, so don't quote me on that.
All right. Well, I hope they retain both OG and Ihart.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. Without a doubt. Both of them. They were
Thank
both
you, Sam.
integral.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, no problems. I appreciate it. Good one.
Sure.
They were both integral into everything the Knicks did this year. Tony, Ihart. We didn't get a chance to talk about Ihart.
Real quick. One of the other benefits with Bogey, not just him being the expiring for potentially, let's say Cleveland, but he also becomes salary filler if they can flip him for another fish that they may be trying to get
right
before the trade deadline or even sooner. I think you could actually get him and trade him right away if you have something on the table So yeah, it's not just the expiring value, but yeah, he's the one. I guess he's the more concerning
Mm-hmm.
guy because there's a cap on what we're allowed to offer him.
Right.
And the market is very slim as far as centers.
Mm.
In my opinion, is the number one center option this free agency. Others may put Claxton ahead of him. I don't. But yeah, it's not many options out there. He's definitely could fit a role on potentially any team. I think one of the benefits we may have is just the familiarity, and if we're offering him to continue that starting job, you know what I mean? Because I think he's going to get starting offers throughout the league.
Right.
So that might be a staying point. But I think everything he said, you know what I mean? Like he's had his career year here, right? So why not build on it?
Right. Right. Yeah. Let me get to another caller. Another Isaiah. Mr. Brunson.
Hey, man.
What's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Just working, trying to maintain. But we here.
That's good to hear, because last time I spoke to you, you was down in the dumps, but you better now.
Here you go, man.
Oh,
See, this is the thing with you.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I just said you was down in the dumps. And you better now. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, listen, man. Shout out to my lady, man. That's the only one, man.
Look, you all I said is you was down in the dumps. You putting out, you spilling the tea by yourself.
I'm not spilling no tea. I just shout out my lady, man. I can't see.
I thought the bookcase fell over.
Start, man.
It did. The bookcase definitely broke. You spilling the tea all by yourself. Go ahead. What's up? What's going on, man?
Nothing much. What up, Tony, man? Blackest time, man. Sim, I just want to first and foremost shout out that you had a great season, man. Another great season, Sim, doing your thing for the Knicks, man. And man, I remember the dark days, man. We used to win 17 games. We used to make that season seem so fun, man.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Hey,
now we doing some winning, man.
Hey, Big Bubba. Kevin said, don't commit no crime with Big Bubba.
No. Don't commit no crime with Sim.
No.
Sim gonna dry snitch you out.
No, don't commit no crime with you. You just told on yourself.
I didn't tell him about it. All I said was shout out to my girl. That's all I did, man. That's my baby, man.
Context. Like, it was all about context.
Anyways, can we? All right. Anyways, man, no, man. I'm listen. I think the Knicks are gonna have a great season, a great off season. I think my main goal. Listen, I'm gonna say it right now, Sim. My number one prospect, give me Mikal, man.
Okay.
Complete the Villanova Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. I just think he'd be a seamless piece to this team. I think it'd be just an easy fit.
Right.
I would want him and OG together, and I would want Randall. So now, you know what's crazy? He said, Sim's gonna kill me for this. He's gonna kill me for this. I want to run it back with Randall.
You should. I've been telling you for years, but
here you go, man. I want to run it back because I really do believe that this season proved, and I think I don't even think it was Julius. I think this showed everybody that Brunson is the 1A. Brunson the 1A. I think this showed, who we need to go through. I think Randall, 25 and 10, really. I want to be honest, 25 and 10. It was hard to replace that, man. And I think there was a lot of times we definitely, this whole playoffs we needed him. The breaks between getting Brunson a break and not having so much heavy usage, because I'm scared to see the usage on Brunson in the playoffs. I'm scared to see the usage.
Yeah, I haven't even looked.
It got to be in like high 30s, maybe early 40s.
Something.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's got to be up there. But I mean, this is to me the opportunity for the Knicks to do that. I've seen some reports with, we got a whole lot going on. You got the whole thing with Isaiah and the Thunder. You got, Mikal and the Rockets. You got, I do think we're going to keep Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll take the discount of the $16 million. I think that's what he's going to get is a 16. I don't think we're going to run it with Mitch and him because clearly you see some in these playoffs. The big men, big men tandems are running things, man. Like there's a lot of two big man things that are running the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised though if Mitchell Robinson ended up getting traded in a big move.
I wouldn't be shocked either. I really wouldn't be shocked, but I would miss Mitch, man. I would miss him because the defense was to me legit.
Yeah, no doubt. But just I wouldn't be surprised if he got moved in a blockbuster trade.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked either. But man, mine is Mikal Bridges, man. I just think him. If you have a team with him, Brunson, OG, Randall, that's to me. I would be confident beating the Celtics.
Okay.
I don't think there will be. I don't think there will be a team that could beat that. I don't think there's a team that just the switchability, the create your own shots, the tandem of OG and Mikal. To me, that would be a crazy defensive tandem.
Yeah, I mean, listen, offensively and defensively, the Knicks would be very, very well rounded, no doubt.
Yeah, that's my goal. I mean, if we have to trade both our picks and a couple other picks and a couple players, yeah, man, I'm down to do that. The only thing is, I don't think the Nets will trade with us. That's the biggest thing. I don't think they want to help their rivals. But the price is right.
But you know what? Sometimes as a front office, you got to say, if the Knicks offer or whatever it is the best, you can't base your moves on, I don't want to move with this team, or this team did this, so we got to do this. No, you do what you got to do to make your team better. And if that means trading with a rival team so that I could get the most draft picks or, whatever it is that benefits your team, then that's what you're supposed to do.
And can I just add, we made the OG trade.
Who are you aiming for?
Hold on, Zay. Go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just wanted to add, once we made that OG trade with Toronto, you know what I mean, in the midst of a lawsuit, you know what I mean, I think that opened my eyes to saying, you know what, anything is possible right now. If you have the right pieces, you know what I mean, whatever, or the right assets, you can make it done. Like Queen says, make an offer they can't refuse. Right.
Exactly. And that's what you do, right? Make an offer that they can't refuse. What were you saying now, Isaiah?
Oh no, I was gonna say what would be what is your off season like? What would be your number one player or goal for the Knicks to do?
I mean, I think like I said earlier, I think the Knicks are gonna make a full court press for Donovan Mitchell, and that's what I would try to do.
Okay, I'm not opposed to that.
Full court press.
I'm not opposed to Donovan Mitchell. I only thing that scares me is just the backcourt short, man. That scares me, man.
It was short with Donovan. It was short with Dante DiVincenzo. They're the same size.
Are they really?
Yes.
Oh man, I didn't know they were the same size. I thought Dante was a little bit taller.
No, same size. Except Donovan Mitchell can jump a lot higher. But they both can jump. So I don't know if he can jump higher or not, but Donovan Mitchell is probably more athletic. And obviously he's a more dynamic guard. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I that's what I talked about earlier. DiVincenzo basically is like he's holding that spot right there for Donovan Mitchell. And obviously you trade for Donovan Mitchell. If it doesn't work out, you have a more tradable asset in Donovan Mitchell where you can say, all right, this ain't really working. We need to do this. This is what we think we need.
Is Donovan in his last year?
Donovan, no. Next season is his last. Next season, after next season, he can opt out.
Okay.
If we trade for him, does the extension come immediately? or does he opt
I
out?
think this is just my opinion, and I see what Kevin is saying in the chat. This is just my opinion. This is what I think the front office is thinking. You trade for Donovan Mitchell at the draft if you can, right? You get him in. And then because Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and Donovan Mitchell all have the same opt-out clause, right? They can opt out or they can opt in. Or, they can opt out or not opt out. You convince them all to opt into that last year, right? And then sign an extension, like Josh Hart did. Opt into that last year, then sign an extension. Next year is, what is next year? 24, 25. And then sign an extension that begins in 25, 26, right? Because the Knicks will have maximum money available they can pay him. Right, because if you go down and if you look at the Knicks salary cap situation right now, right, in 25, 26, they have 104 right now. If the players opt in, the Knicks would have 104.6 million, right, on the books. If you include Donovan Mitchell in that, then that goes, another 34. Let me see, Donovan Mitchell's for that season. Donovan Mitchell makes 37, right? So the Knicks would be almost at, capacity money-wise for the 25-26. But then in 26-27, this is when the contract would kick in. The extension would kick in. The Knicks they're only on the books right now for $37 million for 26-27. That includes Josh Hart. That includes Dante DiVincenzo. That includes Miles McBride. Nobody else is on the books. OG Anunoby, Isaiah Hartenstein will probably be on the books for 26-27, right? But still, that's where here's where the negotiation comes in between Isaiah Hartenstein and with OG Anunoby. You negotiate that money right. Now you bring in you have Randle, you have Brunson, you have Donovan Mitchell. You convince them all to play 25-26 under the current contract, and their extension begins 26-27, and you can budget it out now for 26-27, right? Because OG and Isaiah Hartenstein took the right amount of money. Now you can pay them what they're supposed to get paid, and boom, you got your team for the next 4 years, or whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I think the Knicks make that full court press for Donovan Mitchell right now. You know what I mean? Because everything can really, really match up. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
And the Knicks would have, they would be able to really look at their salary situation and carve out money right now to pay those guys an extension starting 26-27. That's the reason why I think they try to make it happen now at the draft. You get him in, you got him there now, boom, everything else is just budgeting correctly. Right? So you get him now, you can't sign OG and Hartenstein until July 1st or whatever it is, or whenever free agency begins. Right? You have that time to work out all the numbers. Because you'll be able to find out. You got Jalen Brunson, you got Julius Randle, you got Donovan Mitchell. You can talk to their agents and say, what kind of money do they want? What's the extension going to look like in 26-27, right? And you can already start filling in the dots, crossing the T's, dotting your I's, all of that. You can start budgeting. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy because you got them in tow, so you can talk. I'm telling you, I think that's a plan. That's just what I think is happening. Makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah, that's why that's my first guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that, man.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. But Big Bubba, man, I'm gonna let you go and put some glue on that bookshelf.
See, Sim.
Right.
See, Sim. This is what I be telling you about.
What?
So everybody knows about the glue. Everybody knows about the bookshelf. Everybody knows.
Okay. Everybody knows. So I mentioned the bookshelf. So what's the problem?
There's nothing. We are happy. We are good. I'm good. As long as she good, I'm happy. I'm great.
Yeah, okay.
That's all that matters.
All I did is mention the bookshelf. Like, oh no.
You always do this, man. This is what you do, man.
I
Anyways,
just mentioned the bookshelf, bro.
You know what's the difference between me and you? I don't tell people the stuff you tell me. I don't.
I don't tell you anything that I wouldn't tell other people. So I ain't worried about it.
Well, I'm going to agree to disagree.
Okay.
Anyways, Tony, Black and Time.
Sim don't tell people what you say. You tell people.
Right. I don't tell people nothing you say.
Yeah, listen. That's all right, because I already got the glue for the bookshelf. Don't even worry about it. Already got the glue.
Okay, good. I hope it stays this time. That's all.
See. All right, I'm going. You keep going. I'll talk to y'all later, man.
Peace. Boy. I don't know about that dude. I don't know. Anything else this offseason, though, that the Knicks really need to focus on?
I mean, I think the main thing is, OG first, Hartenstein, or whoever you could secure first, secure him. Right. You know what I mean? Like, but those two guys mainstays. Is one thing that, I haven't been on since the last time we've been on. It's been, but I've been watching, and listening and reading and just hearing all the hoopla about people, how we need to trade Randall, and like a lot of the days I ain't even feel like coming on because of that. I just didn't feel like hearing it live in person. You know what I mean? But I don't get it, man. I just really don't get it. People negate that whole January stretch where arguably he was playing his best basketball of his career. You know what I mean? With the addition of OG, like everybody credits OG, and rightfully so.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they act like that the stretch where OG first got here, like Randall wasn't a part of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was the only thing that was kind of frustrating, in the absence. But a few times, I'm glad I didn't go on because I probably would have lost some followers or you know what I mean, some people not agreeing with my take. But let this team just come back healthy and whole and enjoy. You know what I mean? What it looks like. Let's see if we could duplicate that January. Let's see if we can have 2 or 3 of those months. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. That and that's the thing, man. I mean, you can't discount what Julius Randle's been able to do since he's been a Knick, right? A 2-time All-NBA player. Who's the last Knick to do that? How many times was Melo All-NBA when he was a Knick?
I'm not sure. But I mean, even that's the closest guy, you know what I mean, to that you could compare to Randall as far as like coming here and wanting to be here when nobody didn't want to. I mean, obviously Amari spearheaded that,
right?
You know what I mean, but a lot of that also, had to do with the largest contract that he was going to be offered. You know what I mean? So we bought him, but he was willing to take on the challenge. But you got to respect that, man. A lot of guys are scared of New York, scared to be here. You know what I mean? We know what the reoccurring theme with Tibbs is. This is a guy that is built to play with Tibbs, and give him his props for I mean, going through the storm, number one, you know what I mean? like he done went through all the turmoil, and bounced back, twice,
and you can argue
many people you could say that will be able to do that here in New York,
and you can argue the Knicks would be in the Knicks would have been in the Eastern Conference Finals if Julius Randle was playing.
For sure. I mean, you could argue with either one of them. I mean, OG. Like you didn't need both of them to get to the Eastern Conference Final. You know what I mean? You might have needed both of them to beat Boston.
To beat Boston, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Let me get to a phone call real quick. We got Wiz on the line. Wiz, what's popping with you, bro?
What's up, Sim? Welcome back, my man.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. How you feeling?
I'm good. Good to have you back. Tony, you know you're the man, Tony. You know we're from another mother. What's up, boss?
Appreciate you.
Yo, so real short. We signed OG. Extend Brunson if he wants to agree. Let Randall run the year out and extend him next year if necessary. Let's bring back the team, except one. The only move I'm going to make is Burks, bye-bye. Bojan and even Precious are in a delicate spot. So Bojan, I'm trying to swap him out, give them a pick as I wanted for like Hachimura. I'm in LA, so I know about Laker talk. Lakers got to let go of a couple of the guys, and Hachimura's on the list. So Hachimura would be backing up both Randall and OG. Both salary matches his. Give them a pick. They'll be happy. And then finally, I want a ball handler. And I wouldn't mind a young cat. So I go to Portland. They got 3 guys there. They're not quite sure how those 3 are going to work. But Anthony, Scoot, and Shaden, one of those 3, 6'5" plus, athletic, decent handles. I know they're a little young, but they can be developed. Have those guys as the 10th, back up to Deuce. So that's my lineup. So not much change. We're just going to get rid of the 9 and 10 players, Burks and Bojan, and Precious may be in that mix. Get me Hachimura, run the team back, and then give me one of those young cats. I was trying to get Caruso's like or something, but I don't really want to spend too much capital right now on anything special. Those young cats, though, one of them got to go, and Portland's got to make a move somehow. And they'll take picks, they'll take, cash, they'll take whatever it is to get rid of one of those guys. Because right now it's tight back there. Too many people back there.
Okay. I mean, I think a lot of people is okay with running the team back. I think the front office probably looks at Boston and says, this is where we got to, this is who we got to beat. And probably believe they need more firepower.
I like your idea with Hachimura, 100%. But them young guys in Portland ain't going nowhere. That's their future, and they already paid Simons. So even if he was an option, that's big money. That I I don't know if he's the guy that we would want to bring in or be able to match without using Bojan. But I definitely like the idea of Hachimura. A little bit more size, a little bit more versatility offensively. Definitely not the same magnitude of shooter, but can shoot and still has a lot more growth and upside to his game. So I definitely like that idea. And a remaining movable asset moving forward.
Okay. What about Shaden Sharp or Scoot? None of them, you think they won't let either of them go? Because those 3 guys are, they're young and they're ready. They're like IQ was. They want to play, but they also want to be a winner. They don't think they want to be back on a lottery team again next year and just trying to hope they start making some moves because they're really bad right now. The whole team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think those guys are on the table to be moved. I think they're trying to,
Yeah, they'll move the older guard before they move the young guard.
Yeah, they'll move the older guys before the young guys. What you say though, Wiz?
What about would you go for Caruso or Austin Reeves?
I mean, those those are fill-in pieces. I think I want to, sign OG, Hartenstein, see if I can make a move. And then once I can make a move, If I can
Okay.
bring in Donovan Mitchell, then I start looking at some of those other pieces if we need them.
Okay, so you want to make a decent move then. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
That's good.
That's where I would go because I just think the Knicks are gonna need more firepower to beat Boston. You know what I'm saying? We ran out of firepower because we had so many injuries. Even though Jalen Brunson doesn't want to use that excuse, whatever. The Knicks ran out of players. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was hurt. You know, so of course, you know that was a big factor. You know what I mean? And I still they would have beat Indiana. The Knicks with fully healthy, can they beat Boston? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, Boston is, you know, you see what Boston is. You know what I mean? You know, can they beat them fully healthy? You know, they probably they don't get swept. I can tell you that. They don't get swept. You know, but I still think another guy like a Donovan Mitchell now puts you right in the running. Right. You know, you put Donovan Mitchell with this team and you still got DiVincenzo, you still got Josh Hart, you got Brunson, OG, Randall, Isaiah Hartenstein, or Mitch. You know, and then you fill in other pieces. I think you're right there in the running.
All right.
I think he's right there in the running to right there with Boston.
Fly out here? Would you be willing to fly you guys out and we meet Stephen A. Smith in the back, in the back alley somewhere for trying to mess with Monaco?
I'm with it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Stephen A.
Okay,
Smith.
let's not broadcast it, okay? Edit that part out.
Are you
and, I got some ski masks ready. We go Brooklyn style.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you already put it out there. It's out there now. If something happened to Stephen A. Smith, you know, I'm going to start getting phone calls.
Oh, man.
No doubt.
Good to have you back, Tim.
Appreciate it, Wiz.
Cody, you know, always. But appreciate it, man.
All right. Peace, bro. Have a good one.
All right.
Peace. Yeah, Tony. I mean, I think those are the biggest things, man. What about Tom Thibodeau, though? Really quick before we get up out of here.
Extend that man.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Extend him now.
I'm with it. Extend him. You know what I'm saying?
We don't need no
Do that
lame
thing.
coach. You know what I mean? Lame duck coach situation.
Wow.
Like, we don't need no more other things to kind of be speculatory during the year. Like, let's take care of that now.
Take care of it. Take care of it. Yeah, take care of it. Get it done. So, you know, you're coming in, everybody's coming in knowing that we got our team set and you're moving forward. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it.
I do have a few questions. I don't know if you've been following you know, the timelines or the hot topics with other teams, you know, like Cleveland. But obviously, you know, Johnny Bryant, that was one of the storylines of him potentially getting an interview or whatever for that head coaching position.
Yeah.
Which obviously brings up the topic of, does that keep Donovan Mitchell there? Him also saying, you know, he hasn't ruled out an extension. So my question is a two-part question. If Donovan does sign an extension, well, let's start with Johnny Bryant. Let's say Johnny Bryant gets the job.
Right.
How does that affect our coaching staff? What, any type of coach or anybody you would be looking to fill in that role? And how does that impact us, in your opinion? And then the second part is, you know, if that keeps Donovan in Cleveland, where does your focus move to as far as that next big move? Because, I mean, for you got Donovan 1. For me, Donovan is 3rd. I like Mikal. I like Booker better, and like just for this team. But I mean, I'm not opposed to any of them. But where would your second option go? Your second focus go? But you can start with Johnny Bryant, and what does it mean if we lose him?
I mean, the hard thing for me with Johnny Bryant is I don't know. Like, I kind of knew what Mike Woodson's role when he was here, and you know what I'm saying. I knew what those guys. I don't fully think I know what Johnny Bryant's role is. You know, as the associate head coach or whatever it is. I'm not sure. You know, so it's hard for me to say what impact that has. I think it will, because I think guys have a good relationship with him. So it'll definitely have an impact. If he goes to Cleveland, I think Donovan Mitchell definitely stays. You know what I'm saying? Because they got a good relationship. You know what I mean? And then also, I think, well, for me, if, you know, Donovan Mitchell stays in Cleveland, I'm turning my focus to Mikal Bridges.
Okay.
Yeah. If Devin Booker was truly straight up available, then I would take Devin Booker over both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, he's the pipe dream.
Yeah, I would take him over both of them. But so after Donovan Mitchell, I'm looking at Mikal Bridges.
To me, to answer my own question, I think Johnny Bryant was more influential to, I'll say, the younger guys, the RJs, the Quickleys, the Deuce in particular, currently still on the team. You know what I mean? So I don't think his absence impacts the team as much. I think Brunson, Senior, Rick.
Yeah.
I think he has that stronger influence on the Randalls, the OGs, the Brunson, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we don't necessarily miss a beat. Maybe Deuce is the guy that, but I think Brunson can fill in right there with Deuce as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we miss his presence as much as, like you said, like a Woodson, where you knew what his role was and the respect he had from all the vets or whatever. And then like I said, Mikal is one on my list just because I mean, obviously the easy thing is to point to the Villanova, but it's not necessarily the Villanova. It's what we've witnessed with the Josh Hart, the DiVincenzo edition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just that the biggest thing with Mikal, he's an Iron Man. He don't miss games. He don't miss time. You know what I mean? So like Donovan scares me. Not that he's often injured. I couldn't say that for sure, but his style of play is scary in that you know what I mean, in that sense.
Yeah.
Whereas he's kind of reckless with it. So that's one of the main reasons why Mikal is just it's that fit, the defense side, you know what I mean? And then best ability, availability. He we could have used him in this round. I mean, this year, just being he don't got to be dominant. He don't got to be a 30-point scorer, but just being a guy that's playing every game.
Yeah.
And is available. So that's my big thing with Mikal. I don't think I'm gonna get off that until it's not a possibility.
I feel you. Let me get to Lauren. Last call of the day. Lauren from Cali. What's good, brother? How you feeling?
What's going on, man?
Chilling.
Good. Antonio, what's popping? I ain't talked to y'all since,
what
we
up,
won the
brother?
championship this year.
Yeah, man.
But I got a couple questions, though.
All right.
What do y'all think about OG's pay? What are we looking at as far as how much you're willing to offer?
I don't even know,
OG?
man. I haven't even had a chance to really look at it and research, and so I don't know. I can't even answer the question right now. I need a week.
So would you say that I'm assuming the reason why you haven't searched it is because, or I guess the reason why you bring up that you haven't searched it is to make sure that the numbers that you'll possibly present actually make sense for the real salary, right?
For the real salary, for the team, for everything, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's just throw some numbers out there. Let's say Josh Hart makes $20 million right now, which he does.
Right.
OG at $30 million per year or $40 million per year. Which sounds more acceptable to you for OG? I think Jeremy Grant right now makes $30 million or something like that, right? I think
which is more acceptable for OG? 30, not 40.
30, right?
That's more acceptable. For me,
right. Because I'm hearing
that's
folks say, just give him a blank check and let him write whatever he wants, because that's how important he is to us. But I mean, he did miss 50% of the games for us. I just want to throw that out there. I love OG, but I do think we got to factor in the same way we possibly think about Mitch is probably how we should think about OG. Probably.
Okay.
As far as availability. Second question is, speaking of Mitch, what are we doing with Mitch?
I mean, if the Knicks make a blockbuster move, I think Mitch can be part of it. If they don't make a blockbuster move, then I think Mitch is still on the team, and they'll figure out if he's starting and coming off the bench when the season comes.
I don't even know if his body can do starting minutes anymore, though. His contract is not too bad if we get Hartenstein at a good rate. Maybe like, what do you think Hartenstein's contract is going to look like per year? 16,
The max,
17,
our
20?
max. Whatever it is, 16, 17.5, whatever that number is that we can't go over.
Give it to him. So max him out, basically.
That's probably what they're going to do, I think. Maybe,
I don't mind that either.
Maybe they try to negotiate a little bit, but yeah, I think he probably gets his money.
So we basically can run this whole thing back pretty much the exact same roster.
You can, yeah. I think they could if they wanted to run back this exact same roster.
Yeah. And then we figure out the Jalen Brunson stuff later down the line.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
because
he was ready for the extension this year, right?
He can't opt out until the end of next season anyway. Neither Julius Randle either until the end of next season. So.
Gotcha. So we're pretty much looking good.
Yeah, I mean, we looking like. I mean, we should be. We come back. We sign the people we're supposed to sign. We come back healthy next season. We can be top 2 in the East again. Top 2 or 3. Top 2 or 3 in the East again.
Gotcha. And Tony, as far as what you're saying about people talking about trading Julius Randle, ignore that. I've realized at this point, I understand a lot of people don't like Julius Randle, but it's getting to the point where it's ridiculous, bro. Like, I have to call one of my boys he passionately hates Julius Randle. And after the Minnesota series, I called him up. I'm like, yo, bro, listen, I never, ever, ever, ever want you to ever mention Karl-Anthony Towns in the same sentence as Julius Randle ever again. Because not only do people not realize, and I just realized this myself, Julius Randle is a much better player than Karl-Anthony Towns, hands down. And then people talking about not only do they think he's better, but they want to trade Julius Randle for him and picks and then have us stuck with $50 million per year. Like, heck no, bro. Julius Randle stays the Knicks until you can bring me prime Jordan. I'm like, yo, we don't need KD. Yeah. KD is old. He just got swept. Devin Booker, I won't mind, but as you said, that's a pipe dream. I think we should just run this back and maybe pick up a TJ McConnell type backup point guard. Because I'm not comfortable with McBride as a facilitating point guard. I think he plays better on as a 2, or at least just catch and shoot. Yeah. I don't think he's really that good on ball, but if we can run this team back, I don't see why not.
Well, we'll see. I mean, a lot of either way, a lot of the team, majority of the team is coming back.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Donovan Mitchell though.
We'll see.
I don't think that's
We'll see.
I won't be mad, but I'm not sure. It sounds like he's staying in Cleveland because Johnny Bryant was actually brought here, from what I remember. He was brought here, assuming we were going to get Donovan Mitchell.
Right. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Johnny Bryant. But Lauren, I appreciate the time. I actually got to run.
Doubt, man.
Something I got to do in like 4 minutes.
No doubt.
So, all right, man. Appreciate it, Tony. I appreciate it, man. Jumping on first time for me in a long time. It feels like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, or something.
Feels good though, man. It feel like, you know what I mean? If time wasn't a thing, we could go on for like a couple hours.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But we'll get back on track, bro.
We'll be back. Yeah, we'll be back on track. I'm probably gonna jump on tomorrow afternoon sometime or tomorrow evening, one of the two. Start breaking things down some more. So, yeah, man.
No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Thank you for hanging in there, being patient till we came back. But we back in the building and we ready to get it on, folks. We're up out of here. Smash that like button on the way out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.